Yeah. So I believe last time I think we talked about playing more defensive positions against dive. I think that was like the primary that one. Um, so this is dive, so this is a good matchup or a good um follow up, I guess.
Defend objective A.
Let's get to work.
Alright, so we know they're dive now. Oh yeah, you gotta stop shooting these dynamites so early. It's causing you a lot of problems. Just gotta have some patience on it. I know you're afraid you'll miss it, but it's better to miss it than to shoot it and it'll hit no one, right? Alright, so you see the dive, like, ramping up. So, get positioned, like, further back in the cafe, right? That way we can either duck underneath them, right? Or back out the door entirely, right? And start flanking. But we need to play really far back in cafe, like, as far back that will still let us shoot them, right? So, like, here. So that way we have options. If we're too far forward, dive. We want to create as much distance as possible, then rely on our Torb to, like, apply pressure from another angle, or a Hog to apply pressure from another. That's our kind of our goal. Especially since we no longer have res. When we don't have res, this becomes super to play with the dive range. Yeah, so you boot the monkey out, right? And like, he just comes back in, and if you just look, there's everybody in here. The only person who's not here is Genji, because I guess he's coming in, right? So, again, we don't really want to fight them in here. We kind of can, right? But we want to emphasize, like, backing up, playing underneath them, right? Like, because the problem is if we play up here, right, get sniped by their support. Want to play like further back, right? Like we're underneath, use the mini, right? Take cover, or run around the corner entirely outside, right? Run away, but our whole team gets like destroyed cafe, so it doesn't really difference to them. Flanking, this is good. I don't think it really matters at this point. Yeah. Base positioning was probably like. There's not a whole lot we can do there because we sort of messed up on a macro scale. But for you personally, you play a little bit further back. And then when you get dived, you either want to run forward or run out immediately. Like, don't waste time walking up the stairs.
Objective
I'm gonna get
lost.
you for that. Hey.
Stop the payload.
I have beat one.
Yeah. So you missed that dynamite, but it's okay, right? At least you waited on it, right? So you had a chance to hit people instead of like guarantee not hitting people. So if this is a small thing, but if the other hit scan if the person you're shooting at doesn't know you're there, right? Take your time to make sure you hit that shot. It's a really easy bad habit to fall into on like hit scans or snipers, like Widow and Ash, to just like shoot because like normally like when you're under pressure, there's a lot of under normal game circumstances, there's a lot of pressure to hit your shot in a fast manner, right? Like hit your shot so you have impact on the fight, right? But in this case, she doesn't know where you are. The more you rush the shot, the more likely she actually will live because she'll know where you are and that you're shooting her, start reacting to it. Right? So you have your free shot. You want to make sure you hit that shot so that way, like any follow up will kill her, right? But now she's just hiding, right? And now you feel terrible, right? But instead of being able to just throw a dynamite over the car and kill her, right?
Here it comes.
Dynamite patience. Alright, now here's the dive. Hey. Alright, if you see them leaving. So you saw them backing out, right? So that means we can just walk out, right? Nothing's stopping us, right? Walk out, see make them chase us. If they chase us, if they dive us again at the doorway, right? Chill here, we start shooting, right? If they dive us, we just back out again, right? If we have coach gun, we'll be fine, right? And if they're we have mercy pocket as well, I think. But if they continue to ignore you, then you start like pushing out, taking space, maybe taking high ground or way, like taking high ground this way on the side, playing with you. But you want to take space that's whenever it's free. So they gave up the space, you can walk back into it, right? Nothing's stopping you. It's like we talked about with Dan's point of view, right? Is when the enemy team left the high ground side, Dan should just walk in there, gone, right? They're not there anymore, right? This is like the same idea. Very low percent dynamite. They'd have to be pushed. Is that get any value? Rotate this way, that's fine. This coach gun is extremely dangerous, but we're chilling on the backside, so it's okay. yeah, so you can't really stay here unless you have Mercy Pocket, right? So otherwise we should just like if we're again, if we're gonna coach on up, it's very dangerous because it presents a target to dive. And second, if we do stay up there, right, we need to back off as soon as they start like jumping at us, right? Tracer's blinking over, like don't stand and fight the Tracer, like coach gun, run away, do everything you can to live, right? You're probably gonna die either way because you never Pocket, but yeah. Otherwise you just kind of want to chill over here, right? Take a very conservative angle, shoot, right? And if they dive you, you're back into spawn, right? Much more likely to live, because you don't have Mercy Pocket. The Mercy Pocket, then you can jump up, but like you really need the coach gun to like fight. And if you just use it for mobility, like right before the dive, then you die, right?
Turning up the heat.
All right, let's see the Tracer. Oh, they definitely see you. Alright, I'm not sure what you were waiting so long for. But yeah, they definitely knew you were there, so that play didn't look like it was gonna. Yeah, this is super awkward. Are you like in this spawn? Looks strangely fast. Like, this is all the Tracer needs to do. Blocks you out, goes back to your team, and then you can't win. Right? You don't really want to get stuck in the spawn when they know you are, especially when you're in a situation where you don't easily have an advantage, right? So if you're stuck behind them and you were up here, right, totally different game, right? I mean, stuck behind them at that point, but like, if you can control the timing of the engagement, it becomes a lot easier, right? Stuck back here, it's really hard to control the timing of the engagement, especially when the Tracer's hunting you down. And if the Tracer is hunting you down, you just need to keep her tangled up for as long as you can, right? So live, don't hard commit to try to kill her, right? Stay alive, be a nuisance, right? Living is always way more important than kills. Generally. I mean, there's obviously exceptions, but living is usually more important than getting kills. So yeah, especially against his on his end backline, that will need a lot of help to stay alive, right? If you just stay alive, these guys will start yelling for help at some point, as long as you like occasionally to harass them, right? You just stay alive. You don't have to kill the Tracer there.
Setting our weapon. A little.
Nice. Alright, so how does Zen get 2 melee kills? I see. So when this is happening, right? You just killed 2 people, right? You know there's an on your left, and you know both tanks are heavily committed on this side, right? So what should you do? Who's your targeted priority here? Yeah, Ana. Yeah, I mean, in retrospect, it's extremely obvious, right? You just kind of like, wow, this Ana has no help. If I just shoot her, right? I don't even have to kill her. I stop her from healing her tanks, right? And then the tanks die just that easily, right? So you just need to like take a second, think like, you have cooldowns, right? I mean, you don't have recall, but like, you have all your blinks, right? That's all you really need against Ana. Assuming you don't get antied, right? So if you just play your distance, kind of shoot her, bunch, make her annoyed, right? These guys will die, right? You just need to like keep her busy. Right, and now you go for the Ana. As the D.Va comes back, and the D.Va comes to Mega, she doesn't lose mech, she saves the Ana, your pressure lasts a very short amount of time, and you're still going in without recall, right? So like, a lot of bad things happen from that, right? So just pressure the Ana as soon as you can, as soon as you get a good opportunity to. You don't even have to kill her, right? You just need to keep her busy. Yeah, and you die for it.
Let them up.
Our team's down a lot. Kind of misplayed that fight, that little section as well. But I think the bigger problem is that like when we're in a 3v3 situation, kind of just didn't Iana. Like you don't even have to call Iana there, right? You just need to go on her, right?
Initiating
Call that you're going on Iana, but like you shouldn't call it as a target because again your team has a lot of stuff going on the front line, and no one can really easily access Iana except for you. But you should still like.
Hey there. Hi. Hey there. Hello. Hi.
See the echo
Ready.
or the Hanzo. The echo. Okay.
Adjusting angle of attack.
Okay. Oh, careful about staying in one spot. So I know it destabilizes your aim, but at least insert some like left-right drift. That way you're less likely to die. Because yeah, the reason you didn't kill the TP here wasn't because you missed the TP, right, from your aim. It's because you get shot at and you panicked and moved as you were trying to aim, right? So just like insert some controllable movement, of just like left, right, whatever. Make it harder to hit, and that way you'll still be able to aim it and you'll hit all your shots. Because that essentially just cost you a full round of cooldowns, right? An extra round of cooldowns that you didn't need to, that you shouldn't have. Nice. Alright, just come back to the ledge and get healing. Yep, nice. Alright, so we're at a big advantage here. Like, we killed the McCree, we killed the Sim, right? They have no answers to us anymore. They have an Orisa instead of like a relevant off tank. So the priority here is just taking some position at off angles, right? Aggressively. So what are some like good positions? One of them is like here, right? Just above and behind them, right? They can't really do much about it. You can even get it into cafe eventually and just stay here, right? You can fly over the roof on this side, here, right? But the thing you don't want to do is sit on the same angle your team. Your hog and your Sig are playing this angle. Your hog is probably gonna like widen the angle on this side, and your Sig will shoot from based on their position right now, or their right. They should widen the angle first, then push in, but like it doesn't matter. You need to do your part and create the other part of the like expand the concave, right? You have the mobility, so right. Your tracer's kind of stuck back here, so your tracer's not really able to participate. Just so you need to go way over here or way over here, right? And you just need to do this as soon as you can, as soon as you have cooldown. I believe you have them. You can fly in 1 second. So this is just too defensive. Like you see how you're stacking with your team, and this creates a situation where like it's just like it's hard to kill any of them, right? Like they just play together, they back up with no worry about anything, right? You're not behind them, you're not shooting them back, etc., etc. You're gonna have to deal with turrets as well, right? Instead of playing like over here, right? It just feels kind of terrible, right? You want to just play over aggressively on the sides, right? Above. Yeah, like imagine if you were up here, right? This Orisa would be dead, right? If you're up here, Orisa would still be dead, right? But she gets her shield down and she
Moving up.
and you're still dealing with turrets. I know this is hard to process also, but if you see that that turret disappear, that means she swapped, right? And you probably just press tab and see what she swapped to. Because it may or may not be relevant. What the heck? Yeah, so this is okay, right? You're off angling, but you want to off angle from above, like you're Pharah, right? I mean you're not Pharah, but you know, the way you off angle is functionally similar to Pharah, where you like off angle from like literally everywhere, like high ground, behind them, above them, right? You just want to create off angles that like other characters can't use, which is like the airspace, right? So you want to be like up here and shooting, as opposed to like being here and shooting. Kind of like meh, right? But up here is much better, right? Because now your tracer can shoot from underneath, or from the side, right? You can shoot from above, and these guys can shoot from front. And what is this Ryan going to do except back up, right?
Adaptive circuits engaged. Reinhardt. Heroes never die.
Nice.
Executing cycle.
Alright. Careful Widow, take high ground. Don't play on cart. Okay. So we know where Widow is now. She's not really moving. So we just need to dive or to fly at her. Because bad, you kill her. Nice. So now you go back to now you go back to high ground, you take the off angle. Nice. You have your mercy pocket. And you're just shooting. This is great. Okay, so don't go back, right? You're here, you're strong. You just need to wait for the Widow, right? Shoot them from the side, and then before the Widow comes out, set up above the door, right? Or just like wait here, wait for the Widow to reveal herself, right? She's going to reveal herself, right? Because this angles are terrible. This angle's also terrible, right? But she might take a shot from here. Wait for her to reveal herself, and then go kill her, right? So just chill, right? Don't go this way, because again, this stacks your angle with the team. So you're above them. It's not really above and behind, so as a result, they can shield it together, right? It feels kind of bad. So just wait. And if there was no Widow, wait, if the Widow was with her team, or if the Widow was just like another hero, you come out here, just fly above, right? And it'd be way, way better, right? But because it's Widow, you just need to wait. Just reveal herself, then go. And then you fly above, right? But this is kind of like double bad. You're revealing your position. I mean, they should already know where you are. But you're definitely telling the Widow you are. And you didn't get a lot for it. Okay, you check that door as well. And a Widow. All right, so again, we're going back to our team's angle, and we're taking poke wars, right? But they're double shield with Orisa Ryan. Like it's just terrible, right? You just can't kill them, right, from the front. It's miserable, right? But we do know that the Widow is coming back from spawn somewhere, right? We were checking for it. We were thinking about it, right? Which means that she's gonna be on this half of the map, right? From like we draw a line from here to here, it's gonna be on this line, right? Unless she's like rotates extremely fast, which most, right? And you probably would have heard grapple if she did. So if we knowing that, right, you should just play this part of the map, right? Look to diver, and just keep peeking, right? Just keep checking to see where the Widow is, right? So we can dive her, right? We don't want to fall back to conserve angle because if the Widow does reveal herself, right? Like she takes a shot right now, not anywhere close to being in position to dive her, right? Just want to chill over here. Check both doors, right? No one comes out. Check to see if like anyone's over here. Then we see the Widow. Now we're like, oh, we can just go dive her and kill her, right? But because you revealed on this side, right? Now if the Widow should reveal, well, that's her shot, right? She killed someone, and you're not in position to refrag, right? And with Widow, you just always want to be relatively close to her because like if you can't kill her, right? Hero is terrible. Not feels terrible, but like you're vastly limited what you can do if the Widow's alive. Yeah, so you're probably just gonna die to the Widow now. Or just get run down by the Brig man.
In case you weren't aware, the payload stopped. Hey there. Damage systems increased.
Activating the barrier.
Personne n'échappe à mon regard.
Flight routine activated.
Won't hold together.
Hi. Hey there.
Ah! Kind of confused. Oh dear. Good.
Adaptive circuits engaged.
Alright, that was just kind of a cluster. Ideally, when you walk in that room and all the tanks lining up over here, like either like fly out early, right? Go straight up to the high ground, try and fight them. Copy a tank if they're underneath you. Or like copy someone in front if you're about to die, right? And for another life, and you just keep fighting them, right? So contest high ground that way. Or go around like just give up on the side. Like when you see all the tanks running down on your left, come out this way. Try not to die the Widow, right? Again, then fly up and go for an assassination, right? Like the same concept, right? But you don't want to take, like, again, you don't want to get stuck fighting all the tanks right in front of you with your tanks right in front of you. It just feels terrible. Our comp isn't built to do this. You play around that. Ah, Widow! Ah! Alright, died a Widow. Ah. Nice. Taking space. Alright, now we need to keep rotating. Right, don't stop, right? Keep expanding the off angle.
Barrier is out of existence.
So,
Enemy sniper.
she's actually deaf.
Focus with me.
In ideal world, instead of coming up like this, where she might be looking, you want to come around the side, right? Here, and then you go for her, right? Much more likely to kill her. She's just deaf. Although I guess she was expecting you to hit this mine, you didn't. Yeah, you want to go around. Good job, good focus on the Widow, though. Victory at the mine. Alright, so now we can just go spawn the camp the Widow and apply pressure from behind. Good. Big stupid. Alright, good back to high ground, nice. Alright, I believe Widow, I think you heard a Widow shot, but you might not have actually heard it. Fine as well, just flaps on that front line, it's good. Again, like, it becomes a lot easier to pressure these tanks when you're back here, right? Like, good job, but never mind. You want to do that every time. As much as they let you do it, which is most of the time with this team. Like, wasn't actually that good at control.
I'm taking care of you.
Damage systems increase.
Kill, huh? Alright, so we're looking for Widow. Oh, Widow's bottom right.
Enemy sniper.
Go for her. Nice job.
Adaptive circuits engaged. Personality module.
So this is a really common problem with Echoes. Is they're so desperate to get value out of their ult that they just int, right? So I mean you got shattered here, but like if you just think about what you did, right? You took your Echo, right? And you jumped in front of the Rhine brick, right? And you said fight me, right? And they're like, sure, why not? Like, yeah, you have the threat of the super fast shatter, but if they kill you fast, it doesn't matter, right? So if you just think if you were a Rhine in that situation and you just try to fight those three guys, you would just die, right? And they would feel totally okay with that, right? But in this case, you traded an ult for an ult instead of a life for a life, right? Or a life for an ult, which is slightly better, right? But you really want to get more value than that out of the copy, right? Yeah, so you kind of still need to play like a normal hero, right? So you can get into unusual positions with your ult, right? Because you can fly before it, right? But you don't want to actually int with your ult. I mean, this wasn't that fair of a situation because you got shattered immediately, but you should expect, like, you still kind of need to play more, like, kind of like a normal hero. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Alright, fly over them. Yes. Oh, no. Well, it was okay until the Widow shot you. Those Widow, man.
10 seconds. Learning from that one. Hi.
Alright, I think that's the end of that.
Hi.
So, conclusion. Biggest things for you. For your Ashe. Played that much. You kind of got like 2 or 3 lives on it. But just like play away from the high grounds. And you do take the high ground, you get 1 shot, maybe 2, right? Before you expect a response. So if, like, for example, the M team was walking in, you control the high ground, right? And they were walking in from this side, right? You get a couple shots because of the distance, right? But if you're playing here, right, and you see them, right, you get 1 shot, maybe 2, then you need to leave, right? I press the wrong button.
Victory.
Alright. No.
Victory.
Alright. So, you anticipate the dive and play in places that will get you out faster or safer, and conserve cooldowns for that, right? Like going up for here without the Mercy Block is extremely dangerous because you were going to get dived, like 100%. You came up, you headshot the monkey, and the monkey and the diva just like both looked at you, right? And the Tracer was over here and she just blinked across, right? And you died, right? So as Ashe, you need to anticipate the dive, right? Expect it and play around it, right? Save cooldowns, etc., etc. You don't need to take this high ground; they'll come to you, right? You save your cooldown for the fight. On Tracer, emphasize backline, especially when they're on a Zen, right? You just need to shoot them a bit, right? You don't even have to kill them, you just need to harass them. You emphasize staying alive, right? Which will let you shoot them more, right? And then I think those are the big points. Blinking was more or less fine. I think you need to be careful about blinking though. When you tended not to blink actually a lot, or you tended not to blink very much when you're, and that against better tracers will get you one clip. There's sometimes where you're blinking well, but there's one time where you blinked once and then emptied an entire clip here, right, against the tracer. So be careful about that. On Echo, you need to take more like vertical off angles, right? Or you need to off angle harder. Like use your verticality and your ability, take stronger, more aggressive angles, and that will like open up a lot more space for your team. And yeah, you just kind of need to play it like you're playing far, right? Like if you're playing far, right, shooting from here, like you're not happy, right? Shooting from here, you're not happy, right? If you're shooting here, now you're happy, right? Now you're talking, right? So you kind of want to play like that, and then you go for assassinations, right? Your assassinations were pretty good. You just need to emphasize the widow, right? And you need to resist the urge to again, like Dan, to like go back to your team, right? Right, you have a mercy pocket. You're totally independent now, right? That pocket's for you. Play as aggressive as you can, right? Play aggressive as you can on the map. Identify the widow, hunt her down, kill her, right? Make her sad. I think this is important things. Any questions? I guess just that. Or let me know later by DM or something. Comments, concerns, same deal. And I'll end the recording here. Yeah.